It's time to go back in time. Flashback time. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Let's talk about that. Y'all know I'm from LA, born in Compton, raised off Slauson, right there in Edgemar. I grew up in the neighborhood that Nipsey Hussle grew up in, right? So we from the same hood. Really, for real. All right, so I know a lot of these cast of characters that he either over time was talking about in his songs or was hanging with in real life, et cetera, et cetera. I'm older than Nipsey was, but his wisdom was well mature beyond his years. He said something that was so profound. Something that I always was just taking notice to, but I never was fascinated with gang banging life and all that. I never thought that was fresh, so I never really fully articulated. But I'm glad he did. Let's listen to Nipsey Hussle talk about a world where there's so much self-hate that you eat your own, you kill your own. Let's talk about some banging. Let's go.
As a gangbanger, right, when you go on a mission, when you looking for your so-called enemy, you driving through a different hood, down the street, you know, it's an invisible line. You cross this street, now you in another hood, and you hunting. And when you looking, you gonna pass up the dude that's dressed square, right? You gonna pass up a dude from a different race. When you see somebody that's dressed like you dress, and got the walk like you got, and got the body language like you gonna say, there you go, get him. And that's deep. Whew. You know what I'm saying? When you really unpack that.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You looking for yourself just on the other side of town. And you gonna hop out and attack him and try to down him in a real way. Being caught up in gangbanging culture, you don't think that deep. You just think of, these niggas came through and shot the hood up. We about to go back through there and return the favor.
That part. Don't think that deep. But you feel it that deep. That pain is that deep. Oh, yes, it is. The person that you're fighting, the person that you're fighting the most, all these gangsters out there, doesn't just look like you. It is you. That's what you guys are on a mission to go destroy. Yourself. And that's what he basically articulated. So many lives lost by gangbanging, so many senseless interactions and moments and getting jacked and getting punked and getting dissed and getting clowned. I'm talking beyond the violence. I'm just talking about just simple day-to-day. You can't even tell nobody about it because that ain't that bad. Why? Because it's way worse. That don't mean this ain't bad. It just means that's way worse. Hated growing up in those kind of environments, conditions, that mindset. Oh, man, he's just sweating you. He ain't tripping. Did you just hear what you said? Getting followed by fools. Hey, what's up, homie? Where you from? That's a death sentence. That could be a death sentence. Where you from? Because you ain't asking if you know where I'm from. And if I'm from where you from, you ain't asking either. So what you asking for? Because you want problems. Never got caught up in it because I knew those dudes were hurting. They coming from unresolved pain. And as I look at it and I'm learning through my therapist, the unresolved pain comes from your relationships with three things: your mama, your daddy, and your childhood. And the problem is with a lot of these gangsters, they're still children having unresolved issues in their childhood. So they fighting themselves fully in the air, in the wind. Trey and Boys in the Hood. Mama daddy issues, childhood issues make you want to bang. And that banging ain't hurting nobody but yourself, ain't hurting nobody but you and yours, and you know it, and you still go through with it because you're running from something. Excuse me. Because you can't shut that voice up. You can't shut that pain up. You can't shut that pain out. And all these relationships that you have that you can make better, all these opportunities you have in front of you, all of y'all, all of that gets thrown away because you want to ride on somebody. Let me give y'all one of the most senseless, stupid things. I'm going to say it's stupid because I hated it and it was dumb. This, oh man, I'm dying. Peace sign, this. Watch this. That's a gang. And guess watch this. That's a gang. And that gang don't like that gang. And neither one of them like that gang. Peace. It was wild when I used to see that. It's wild when I know cats that are famous now that's from those hoods, like Nipsey, you know, Schoolboy. And those are rivalries. Like real rivalries, not like Ravens, Steelers. I'm talking about death on the streets. And I remember like growing up, just looking at dudes my age and dudes a little older than me, and I'm like, what's wrong with you, bruh? Like, how you wake up mad? How you wake up wanting it? How you wake up looking for smoke? And I remember getting like intimidated, not punked, just like don't mess with him, don't go around him, make sure you watch what you say around him, etc. And the craziest thing is, as I got older, and now, of course, now, I see a few of those guys that are still alive and still around. And they the nicest cats. They just cool. They graduated from that. Still got their fingers in it. Some of them, I ain't stupid. But they like, nah, dog, I'm good. Hanging, having a beer. We had drinks one time out, my boy's birthday party, and I'm just laughing, just telling them. I was like, dog, one of the homies, and I was just laughing like, dog, you used to just scare me. But I wasn't scared. I just like, I don't want no problems. I was like, I wasn't scared you're going to hurt me. Because I knew I wasn't doing nothing wrong, and I knew you weren't coming after me just for no reason. It didn't feel like that, but it just felt like being around you was like pig pen. Like you just kicking up dust everywhere you go. Like it's a problem. And he giggling and laughing. I mean, he nice. Like he nice, like a good person nice. I was like, what? What happened to you? What was wrong with you? And that's the life. Want all these kids out here, man, to understand. I don't care where you from. And look, I ain't from the worst place ever, but I'm closer to that childhood than I am from the best place ever, right? Man, find them opportunities, man. Find your way. It only takes one domino to make the rest fall. You can make it all happen, man. Stop looking at the thing as half empty and go out there and know it's half full. And there's too many success stories that's coming from where you from for you to say you can't make it. That's how the game goes. Or that's how the gang goes. So rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, for that gem he just dropped. I just had to get that off my chest. I hate it. Gang life. I hated navigating around gangsters. I hated them shooting us up when we were on the field. I hated getting shot at a couple other times, going to games and just hanging at parties. Hated it. Hated these fools. But rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. And it's crazy the way he went out. And listen to his song sometime and him saying, I'm never slipping and they always got my back. And rest in peace. Rest in peace. That'll do it for today's episode of Never Shut Up. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some sports, sports media, sports entertainment, and we're going to have some fun. Watch the Olympics. It's pretty cool. And stop letting a damn opening ceremony stop you from watching all these athletes. They ain't the same. That's like a creative director. He messed up. Move on. Damn, y'all sensitive. Like, I didn't even watch it. And then I watched it. I was like, look at these fools. Y'all got to stop letting fools get in the way of yours. Or you're going to be the fool too. All right, that'll do it for today. Have a great day. I know I will. The ceremony. I ain't gonna watch nothing else. Do what they did. Man, come on. Do better.
Stage a lot faster. Oh, I'm so honored. I'm so inspired to be here, and thanks Shine Global for this award, to be recognized for doing the right thing, to be recognized for doing good things, and trying to inspire others for their own greatness. I'm just a kid from Compton who at an early age, had to look inside to find my opportunities, because on the outside, there were so many whispers and sometimes yells of, I couldn't make my dreams a reality. And thought that was very unfortunate, but I was thankful that I never internalized that chorus that was around me. I was a kid that understood that you had to be greater than your greatest excuse. And I had a lot of excuses. I had a lot of reasons to have self-doubt. But I was able to develop my inner power, discover that inner power, and make sure that I showed the world exactly who I wanted to be. And it was really simple for me. It was to make my dreams a reality. There was nothing more to it. And as I now stand here, just a few miles from where I grew up, where that adversity still is strong, and as we see through these movies, that it's worldwide, not just in our locale. You see the suffering, you see the gangs, you see the drugs, you see the poverty. And there's always one common escape. It's that inner power, it's that ambition. It's having a voice that's louder than those surrounding voices. And I'm on a mission, a global mission, to make sure that that inner power inspires all to not only give, but to receive the blessings that come from giving. And I'm up here right now as a guy who's challenging everyone to give their 3 T's. That's time, that's talent, and that's treasure. Human capital, financial, whatever it may be. Let's invest in each other, because we all have to coexist here together. And as I look around and I have a foundation that really inspires these kids to become their greatest version of themselves, and to look in the mirror to make sure that they're greater than their greatest excuse. It gives me my greatest passion. I was a kid who wanted to be a school teacher, but because of my height, weight, and speed, I became a football player. So I took that helicopter ride up as high as I could, but as I was ascending, I never forgot that I was once one of those fork-in-the-road kids who was shot at many times, who had to navigate around adversity every single day, who had to waste so much of his brain power just trying to get home every day. And so many experiences that sometimes you become desensitized to. But in reality, that is someone else's reality. So I'm so thankful to stand in front of all of you guys as an example of the kids that we're trying to affect, the underserved, the underprivileged, those who are told that their hardships are greater than who they are. But hopefully we can inspire them all to look inward, because everything they want out there is already in here. Appreciate you guys.